This is a tutorial for matrix multiplication, and before doing matrix multiplication there are some ground rules, which are a matrix of the order m cross n can only be multiplied to a matrix B when its order is something of the sort n cross p. If the number of columns of A is not equal to the number of rows of B, then the matrix multiplication is not possible. Apart from that, when we multiply two matrices of order m cross n and n cross p, this matrix A is being multiplied by the resultant matrix has the order of m cross p, that is number of rows of A into number of columns of B, which implies that AB will have the order m cross p. So let's start with a basic example of a 3 cross 3 matrix where A is and B is 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1. As we can see that the number of columns of A is equal to the number of rows of B. Therefore, the matrix multiplication of A and B matrices is possible. So, for AB, we multiply the first row element-wise to the first column. And that gives us the first element of, and sum of all these multiplications gives us the first element of the matrix AB. So, first element of AB will be 2 plus 12 plus 3. So, for the second element, we multiply the first row to the second column. So, this is 3 plus 16 plus. So, as we can see, AB. For AB, the first row of first element will be given by the sum of multiplication of first row elements to the corresponding first column elements. So the first element is similarly the second element will be given by sum of multiplication of corresponding elements of first row and second column. 3 and 16 plus 0. And for the third element, we multiply the first row elements and add them with the third column elements. So that's 5, 18. And for the second row elements, we use the second row of the first matrix and we repeat the entire process. So for the first element, we have to multiply it with the first column. And for the second element, we have to multiply it with the second column. And similarly, for the third one, we have to multiply it with the third column. And for the third row of the resultant matrix, we use the third row of the first matrix and we multiply it with each columns. So the first element of the third row will be the third row of matrix A multiplied by first column of matrix B. The second element will be second column multiplied by third row. And the third element will be the third column multiplied by the first row. So we have the resultant matrix as 15, 17, 19, 21, 26, 38, 44. We have 52, 35, 26, 45, 7. So this is our final matrix AB. with the order 3 cross 3. We can take another example which does not have square matrices. So let A is equal to it's, as we can see, it has 2 rows and 3 columns, so it is a 2 cross 3 matrix. Let B be equal to a 3 cross 2 matrix, which can be 1. So since the number of columns of A is equal to the number of columns of B, AB is possible, and the order of AB will be the rows of this and number of columns of this. So AB should be a matrix of 2 cross 2 order. So we repeat the same process. That is, the first row elements will be multiplied with the first column elements to give us the first element. So it's 1, 6, 15. And for the second element, we multiply this row with this column. And for the second row elements, we multiply the second row to the columns. So the first element of the second row would be this row into this column. And the last element would be given by this row multiplied by this column. So it's 8 plus 20 plus 36. So we have a final matrix AB of the order 2 cross 2. So this is our matrix to AB. Thank you.